Hi there, this is Solitary from Solitary Films, and welcome to another episode of One Director, Four Films. And today, the episode is about Stanley Kubrick. Now, some directors, some of the categories might be a little bit difficult to choose a film from, but I'm going to give it a go. And again, it's generally going to be films that I have in my collection, so there will be certain directors that have films that I just flat out don't like, so I don't have in my collection, so they're not going to be the choices for the Flounder. So again, just a refresher, it's one director, four films, so a fundamental film, a film that sums up the director if you were to show it to somebody who'd never seen a film by the director. A favourite, which again is not their best, it's just your favourite. A hidden gem, again, some directors, their work is not going to be hidden, or something that's underrated. And finally, a flounder, a film that just doesn't land with you personally, because again, this series is all about you, the audience, not me. This is about your choices, because it's always interesting to hear choices from people who know a lot more than I do. So we're going to go with Kubrick. Now, for the fundamental film, obviously Kubrick did lots of different films in different kind of milieus, different genres. And the kind of obvious answer to this one's probably 2001, but I'm not going to go with 2001 as the fundamental one. I'm going to go with Barry Lyndon. I will give reasons, honest. The reason for going with Barry Lyndon is Kubrick shot composition is right up there with the best. It's right up there with Kurosawa and Orson Welles and Sergio Leone as far as composing a frame. Barry Lyndon, the shot composition is exemplary, but Kubrick also was generally on the cutting edge of technology. Use of Steadicam, obviously the special effects in 2001, which have never really been bettered. And in Barry Lyndon, the use of special lenses to film candlelight. So technically, Barry Lyndon is an exemplary film. Compositionally, it's an exemplary film. Themes of outsiders fitting in with society or a certain area of society, it's there. It's a beautiful film. It's not my favourite Kubrick film, but I think it has lots of the themes and the technical know-how and just the painterly compositions. So I'm going to go with Barry Lyndon as my fundamental Kubrick film. But again, this series is all about your choices. So look forward to seeing your fundamental Kubrick film. So my favourite Kubrick, because again, Kubrick's kind of funny. He used to be in like my top 10 favourite filmmakers. He has fallen a bit, and I don't really watch Kubrick films that often, outside of probably 2 or 3 of them, just because I watched them so many times when I was younger. But he's obviously still pretty good. So my favourite is Doctor Strangelove. It's usually between Doctor Strangelove and 2001. because the sense of wonderment from 2001, even though I know how they did it all, is still kind of jaw-dropping. But Doctor Strangelove, obviously I'm not a huge George C. Scott fan, but I just have quite a few of his films. Buck Turgidson is absolutely fantastic. Peter Sellers is wonderful. James Earl Jones, can't ask for more than that. Slim Pickens. It's just a wonderful film. It's still funny, even though it's terrifyingly scary as well. But Doctor Strangelove is always in the conversation for my favourite Kubrick film, so I'm going to go with Doctor Strangelove. As far as gem or underrated, it's difficult with Kubrick because obviously he had a limited number of films. He is quite famous, but I'm going to go with The Killing. It's short and sweet. Obviously, again, the mixing up of chronology. Stellan Hayden gives a wonderful performance. It's got a wonderful ending. It's short, it's punchy, it's not as grandiose as some of his later films, so it might be slightly overlooked. But again, with Kubrick, it's going to be one of those filmmakers that's difficult to come up with a hidden gem. But I'm going to go with The Killing. Now, as far as Flounder, the film that just doesn't do as much for me, I'm not going to go with Fear and Desire because I've never actually seen Fear and Desire. I don't have it in my collection. And obviously Kubrick would quite like it if nobody had it in their collection. So I'm not going to go with Fear and Desire. I'm also not going to go Eyes Wide Shut, which the first time I saw it, I wasn't really impressed with it. But I really need to rewatch it because it's been a long time since I've actually seen it. So I'm not going to go Eyes Wide Shut. Now obviously if you're doing the maths in your head, that doesn't leave too many films to be the Flounder. But for me, the Kubrick film that I watched the least, apart from Eyes Wide Shut, but I'm going to give that another go, is Lolita. I have never really clicked with Lolita at all. As much as I like James Mason and Peter Sellers and Shelley Winters, I've always found it a bit of an odd film for Kubrick to do. I find it a bit overlong, and again, The Flounder, it's not about it's a bad film, it's just the film that doesn't resonate with you as much as possible. Again, this is just everybody's opinion, and my opinion is not fact. So if your favourite film by Kubrick is Lolita, that's absolutely fine. I'm not here to bash Lolita. It's just, for me, it's the least interesting Kubrick film, and it's the Kubrick film that just doesn't resonate with me at all. The subject matter doesn't really interest me. So that is my Flounder. But again, the whole point of doing this series is for me to see your comments and your choices. So please let me know in the comments your fundamental Kubrick film, the film that sums up Kubrick the most to you, your favourite Kubrick film, the gem or the underrated Kubrick film that nobody really talks about as much, and your Flounder, the Kubrick film that just doesn't land with you as much as the other ones. So thanks very much for watching. I look forward to seeing your answers. This is Solitude Rowan from Solitude Rowan Films, saying cheerio.